Talk about the earnings and your response to how well they turned out.
Well, it's pretty neat for everybody associated with our Ford, Mary. I think the neatest thing is, one, the strength of the product line. Because as you know, we decided 4 years ago to make a complete family of vehicles, a best in class. And to see the response we're getting, that they are the vehicles that people want, they value them, and we have the production matching the real demand, but then also our improvement in quality and productivity by going to one Ford and going to global platforms so we can offer these great vehicles at the very best value.
How important is it that you have the lineup ready to go with the better fuel economy?
Well, this is critical, as you know, because remember 4 years ago we decided, we took a point of view that we all were going to pay more for energy going forward, and that's when we decided to make a commitment to a full family of vehicles, and especially every vehicle, whether it's a Fiesta or an F-Series truck, would be best in class in fuel efficiency. And to now have these vehicles available now to the consumer as the fuel prices are starting to move up is absolutely terrific for the consumer.
But you're selling large trucks as well. It's not just the very fuel efficient.
Absolutely. And remember, the plan was everybody asked, well, are you going to still make SUVs and trucks? And we said, absolutely. We're going to have a complete balanced portfolio. When you walk into the Ford store, you can get a Fiesta, a Focus, a Fusion, a Taurus, a Mustang, an Escape, an Edge, a Flex, a new Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, F-Series, E-Series, and the Transit. That family can take care of all your needs, small, medium, and large cars, utilities, and trucks.
But do you anticipate that the truck sales will start to soften because of the gas prices?
They have softened a little bit, but it's very interesting in the United States in that, you know, the trucks are used for work as well as for pleasure and all the hobbies and stuff. So even though they've fallen off a little bit, like happened in 2008, there's still a very robust market for trucks and SUVs in the United States. And the neat thing is that with Ford, you have a complete choice of any size vehicle that you want.
Well, when you're looking at the truck sales, do you still see that as an indicator that the economy is starting to come back? And are you concerned at all that the gas prices will hamper that?
Well, commodities and gas prices are very important with respect to the economy. And we agree with most economists that if the prices stay up very long, it will have a negative effect on economic expansion. Now, having said that, this has been a good, steady, relatively slower recovery because we're in a very deep hole with the last recession. But we think with this robust product line and everybody worrying about economic development, both on the fiscal side and the monetary side, that if we keep this expansion moving, then we're going to be there for the right products for people. Because, you know, right now the pent-up demand is incredible. The average age of vehicles now is over 10 years. So people are really ready for fuel efficiency and the newer vehicles.
And that kind of hits on the new Explorer, which gets 25% better fuel economy.
Absolutely, and we moved from a truck platform to a car platform. You get all the fit and finish and drivability of the new vehicles, yet you get all the capability with 7 passenger seating, plus being able to tow a little bit, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful drive. The sales on the new Explorer, Mary, are up 111% year over year.
And to what do you attribute that? Is it the better fuel economy?
It's the quality, it's the fuel efficiency, it's the safety, and of course it's the smart design like Sync and My Ford, and you get that all in an integrated package with those tremendous improvements in all those characteristics.
The first thing people see when they see the earnings and the pent-up demand, they wonder, will you be boosting production and will you be adding jobs?
Absolutely, and we also reaffirmed our guidance that for the second quarter of this year we're going to increase our production over the first quarter. Now, that's in the United States. We also shared with everybody that our operations in Asia Pacific are going to be slowed a little bit because of the terrible tragedy in Japan. But in the United States, we're increasing production, and we've also said that over the next 2 years, based on the strength of our products and growing the business, that we'll be adding over 7,000 great jobs and great careers with our Ford.
How many of those will we see in the local area? Will it be at the Focus plant?
Well, quite a few, because all of our operations here are expanding. And you mentioned the Focus plant. What a story. You know, converting a truck plant to a car plant to make the new Focus, and to make the petrol version, to make a hybrid, a plug-in hybrid, and an all-electric, all those versions off that new C1 platform, all on the same production line, and make them in the quantities that the customers really do want.
So will you be adding jobs at the Focus plant? How soon?
As we grow our Ford business, we're going to be adding jobs to support that in all our Ford operations.
But can you say when you might add, say, a third shift?
No, it'll be dependent on how fast the demand increases. And I think to your comments about oil prices and the economy, that's going to be the most important leading indicator for all of us, because getting this economy growing again so we can get our confidence and get the unemployment down is the most important thing that all of the leadership team focuses on.
Well, talking about the leadership team, with the contract negotiations coming up, how much will these earnings affect that going in?
Well, I think it's a very positive thing, because the decisions that we made together with all of our employees, with the UAW nearly 4 years ago, it was all focused on making Ford competitive so we could actually grow the business. Because what we all care about is our great jobs and growing the business, because that is our only job security, as we all know. So the fact that we negotiated a transformation agreement together, we're now competitive and competing with the best companies in the world. We are now increasing production, increasing opportunities to be with Ford, and I just believe that all of us are going to think about how to improve our competitiveness and never go backward, because that's the thing that's going to allow us to offer even more jobs going forward and grow the business.
There's been some complaints out of Bob King about your compensation, and now with the earnings, are you concerned that it will set unrealistic expectations for the union?
Well, I think this issue about competitiveness and the fact that the executive leadership compensation is completely aligned with the success of Ford. All of the numbers that you see are associated with Ford doing well in the marketplace and profitably growing. So I think it's just really, really neat that the leadership team's compensation is tied at almost 100% to the success of Ford. And if we grow Ford and continue to grow Ford like we're doing, everybody is going to benefit from profitably growing Ford.
Well, and the union has suggested that it may want early contract talks and early resolution to the negotiations. Do you see that happening?
Well, I think that's definitely a possibility, and this is a very collaborative thing that we do. We've worked together very, very well to get us to the place now where we are creating an exciting, growing Ford for the good of all of us. And I think we know the areas that we want to continue to improve in competitiveness, and we welcome and look forward to continue to work with UAW and our employees on that. This is a different time, Mary, than we have been in many, many years. I mean, so many years we were shrinking and going down in market share, and this is a very different time because we have now turned the corner. We've invested in the product line. We are now growing the business, and this is the time that we stay so laser focused on improving our competitiveness to grow even more and provide great jobs and great careers with a profitably growing Ford.
What about the situation in Japan? How much is that going to hurt your production?
Well, right now we've been able to contain this tragedy, and you can imagine with the global supply chain and all of our tier 2, tier 3 suppliers, and especially in areas where Japanese really lead in electronics and displays. But so far we've been able to work with all of our suppliers, find alternate sources, help them get back on their feet, accelerate down days so we don't run out of parts. And so we were able to honor our commitment for production in the first quarter, and we reaffirmed our guidance that we think with all of the actions we have taken and we continue to take, that we'll be able to actually increase production in the United States in the second quarter. Remember, that we've talked about the Thursday business plan reviews meetings once a week, and you've covered that very well about how we work together worldwide. Well, we're in a meeting now every day, noon to 1 o'clock. Every day we're meeting to work with all of our suppliers and partners and all of our manufacturing facilities to keep the flow of all the parts going and then get this whole entire value chain back on track.
I know no one wants to take advantage of the situation in Japan, but does this provide you a unique opportunity for people who are in the market to buy a car to see your vehicles because their production has slowed?
Well, our fundamental business plan has been to provide the best cars and trucks in the world and provide them in the volumes that people really do want and value. And clearly, with the consumer demand increasing, then we are going to do everything we can to support our consumers with great choices from Ford. And the neatest thing is that because of what we've done based on the value of the product line and people's awareness of the brand now and what they can get from Ford, they were in a position to really take care of their needs going forward.
They're telling me I have to wrap up. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to go over? No,
the only thing that you usually do ask about is, as far as creating a strong business, is repaying our debt, repaying our loan, improving the balance sheet. And since you're interested in that, I thought I might mention that over the last year, of course, we repaid $14.5 billion of that $23.5 billion that we took out 4.5 years ago to create this exciting Ford. In this last quarter, the first quarter, we repaid another $2.5 billion. So we are now down to $16.6 billion. And from a net cash position, we have now moved to $4.7 billion positive, which is a $13.7 billion improvement in our net positive cash. So this gives us even more flexibility to improve the balance sheet and continue to accelerate in the investment in these new great products.
Which puts you ahead of the game, like the new Taurus, which was significantly refreshed before the others have a chance.
Absolutely, and to your point, remember when we paid down this debt, that on an annualized basis, that means that we are avoiding another $1 billion of interest payments on that debt. So right there are 2 or 3 product programs that we can continue to bring to market. So this is a very positive thing. When you're running a healthy business and you're operating profitably and generating cash flow, then you can really accelerate the investment in the business for the long-term growth.